Hello, my dear lovers of mysticism. Today I have prepared a very interesting story for you. It was during the war and happened to my grandfather. Back then, our town was not yet a city, and there were cranberries growing near the central square, and wolves hunted there in winter. There were two villages on the site of the present town, one on the bank of a large river, and the other near its tributary. Grandfather's father and his two brothers went to the front, and he and his grandmother, mother, and another brother stayed behind. Grandfather was the youngest. He was no more than 6 years old at the time. There was almost nothing to eat, no medicine, and somehow grandfather got sick. He was lying in a fever, hardly ate anything, only drank water. And then, at night, he went to a big barrel of water to get drunk. The barrel was in the hall, in the space between the door to the street and the door to the house. He drank the water and was about to go back, but stood there like a maniac. In the hall, in addition to him, there was a strange woman in a hat. Pale as a corpse, the light from the moon that poured through the window seemed to go through her. Beautiful, beautiful. So beautiful you can't take your eyes off her, said my grandfather. And then she smiled at him warmly, almost with motherly love. She put her finger to her lips. Be quiet. Everything is all right, and pointed at the door with a glance, say, go to sleep. Grandfather looked at her for a second and then left. He would not tell anyone. Fever, hallucinations, malnutrition. It would have ended like that. But then something's happened. Grandfather got back on his feet in a couple of days after this meeting. And 5 days after the meeting, his healthy, still quite young mother fell ill with the disease and died in a day. She came for my mother then, says the grandfather, and she smiled at me because she felt sorry for my son, who should not grow up without a mother. I will say that my grandfather is a materialist and atheist, but about the woman he says, maybe I imagined it, but I saw her like you, and I still remember her face. I have no reason not to believe him. Her next appearance was when the village became a city. Roads, high-rise buildings. But my grandfather's aunt's family continued to live in that wooden house, closer to the outskirts. Everyone had already lost their plots, but the houses remained. It all looked something like an American cottage with a Russian flavor. The second time it was already daytime. There was a knock on the door. Those who were at home at that moment went to open the door. They opened the door and there was this woman standing there. She looked at them in surprise, as if she didn't expect to see them, and left in a hurry without saying anything. The next day a heavy truck rammed the house. 3 of the 5 people inside were killed. They heard about her visit from the survivors. She seems to come when someone in the house has to die. That woman was death.